Henshin Inspection presents Going Ultra! This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mgmunoz.com. Welcome to Going Ultra. Visit mgmunoz.com/gu for notes and links, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment to help me grow. SSSS.Dynazenon Episode 7 is entitled, What is Our Reason for Coming Together? It originally aired May 14, 2021. The writer is Keiichi Hasegawa. The director is credited as Yoshiyuki Kaneko. I have titled this analysis, We Grew Apart. And I'll talk about why a little bit later on. But first, the static. I didn't like the flow of Koyomi's side story. It felt like it detracted too much from the main story. Chise was tied into it too, in a really weird way. I say just give them their own episode. Cramming a story for them into the nooks and crannies is not as enjoyable. And it's kind of been seeding over the past couple episodes. I don't know if, I would say 2 episodes ago even, there was a little bit of this going on in episode 5, but I don't know. It's not a solid B plot. If it were to be made better as a solid B plot, I would be able to buy it more. But it's too much. It's too much, and it's really more of like a C plot, which is why I say it's being crammed in the nooks and crannies. So anyway, going on to the sizzle. Gridknight looks great in both forms. His suit is cool, and by suit I mean his actual physical suit, lapel or jacket and pants. But speaking of the lapel, I really dig the flare on his right side lapel. That is some classy extraness. I am soft pedaling, talking about who exactly Knight is and what this means and what the lapel means for those who haven't seen SSSS.Gridman yet. I will not be holding back if he shows up again, or maybe in subsequent episodes. So, just buckle in for that. You got a week to watch a 12, 13 episode show. Do it. It's a great show. Especially if you're digging this. So, speaking of which, Gridknight popping up in the OP and behind Chise of all people made me wonder if he will be a regular in the show now. It doesn't quite seem that way by the end of the episode, but, you never know what'll happen. Dynazenon mounting that kaiju to punch its head was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. I don't really have much more to say about that. And then the weird band aesthetic of the second and her fixer beam baton thingy was pretty dope. The way that thing popped open and the fixer unit slotted in there was really cool. And I like the design of it too. The little capsule, it's not just a capsule. It's got some interesting design work to it. Just real subtle stuff, but like an etch and a notch and miters over. It could have just been a plain glass tube or a glass tube with just a metal at the top and bottom, but it's not. It has some design work put into it, so pretty cool. Moving on to the soul. I pulled the quote, "We grew apart," which was from Yume's conversation with Yomogi, for the title of this episode because it really fits this thread running through about longing. Partings make for coming together again. That tension and longing are part of a natural cycle that moves, or that makes the world move. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of identify this thing. So longing seems to be at the center of this story. Gauma wants to find this beautiful lady who entrusted Dynazenon to him. Yume wants to know her sister, and she felt like she was on the cusp of it when she died. Yomogi wants to help Yume partly because he is romantically interested in her. Chise grows jealous of Koyomi as he is shifting his focus to Inamoto. Koyomi seems to want a purpose. The kaiju eugenicists want a world where kaiju are needed, and Ojina said that kaiju exist to kill all humanity. But humanity creates kaiju through longing to escape their bonds. If kaiju destroy all human life, then would they in theory die out, I wonder? What is the point of that? They want to basically destroy all life, even themselves, if that logic holds. Why would the kaiju eugenicists want that? What do they really want in life? What do they really want or long for from the kaiju? I think it's interesting. Moving on to speculation. Gridknight popping up in the OP behind Chise made me wonder if she might become a Gridknight. I think that'd be really cool. It could be a lot of fun, especially if she was different, had a different design. There's an extra toy for them to sell based on the show. I say why not? And also, that little... I think she's got red and black flame, right? That's her thing. Well, somebody had purple flame type stuff with blue, and he became a Gridknight. So anyway, moving on. On to the debate. I've got multiple questions, and there's statements and questions and statements and questions. It all kind of sets each other up. So I'm going to ask them. I'm going to give my answer, but I'd like to hear your. I don't know. There's a lot here, and I'm just at 5 minutes into the recording, so I'll go ahead and answer as well. So moving on to the debate section. Koyomi and Knight both helped people because they felt it was moral to do it, not because they really wanted to or liked the person who they were trying to help. How much do intentions really matter? Ultimately, they acted rightly, even if it was not for exactly the right reasons. Is that good or bad? So I'll read all these and then I'll come back and answer questions. Yomogi is intent on continuing to help Minami find out more about her sister because he likes her. She questioned him about it, and he said that he cares about what happened to Kane. That's the sister, right? Because she is Yume's sister. So there is that connection between them. She isn't just some stranger to him. Why did Koyomi hang up on Inamoto after she thanked him for saving Tachibana? Is it because he is bitter about having no chance with her now that she says that Tachibana and her are going to value each other more and their relationship, I'm assuming, more? Was he avoiding her telling him that they couldn't hang out anymore? And he just hung up on her before she could wind up to it and say it? I don't know. Does it matter if Koyomi begrudgingly helped Tachibana? Does it matter if Knight only fought alongside Dynazenon to stop the kaiju? So these questions can kind of all be answered in one go, or they can be broken down bit by bit. I think I don't know. My worldview, my morality tells me that if you harm somebody, it is negative. If you think evil thoughts towards somebody, it doesn't harm them necessarily. It definitely harms you, and it sets you up for negativity and destruction and bad things in your future. But it doesn't necessarily have a positive or a negative effect on them in the outside world, but it does hurt you yourself. So what about if you hate somebody or dislike somebody, but you help them because you know it's the right thing to do? Is that good? Well, your actions are good. Your actions are moral. I would say, I think it's an interesting situation where it's kind of up in the air, but I would argue that it's reversed. I think you should do good things. I think you should do good things even for bad reasons, because my hope is that in you doing one good thing and getting a reward for it, you would do another and another and another until you simply began to do the good things because it became part of who you are and was, it became part of, who you are. And like it would skew you. The power of doing those good deeds would skew you into being a better person, even if you were doing it for the wrong reasons. That's what I think. I mean, that's a possibility. I think it's a big topic that can be discussed from a lot of different angles. But that's basically my answer for it. So I'm okay with, Yomogi helping Minami or Yume because of her sister, because he wants to help her because he's interested in her. Like that duplicity that could potentially be there, whatever. It doesn't feel bad or gross to me or anything like that, and it's not necessarily a negative. It's just an interesting thing. There's a saying in Jewish tradition that without the evil inclination, a man would never marry, plant a vineyard or farm or build a house, and that's basically if he didn't want to get with some woman, he would never do things. And the idea traditionally would be that women would be the gatekeepers and say like, whoa, bub, you want to slide into my DMs over here? You're gonna have to show me that you can provide, that you can have food and sustenance, and like a place where we could raise a family potentially. And that natural tension of the man wanting something and the woman needing security in exchange for that causes and inspires civilizations to be built up. I mean and it doesn't necessarily just have to be man-woman and like a sexual relationship or anything like that. But it's interesting how that kind of works. But and people can see that as being unfair or transactional or whatever. But like in a way, all relationships are transactional. And the only thing to me that makes it immoral is if you're coercing somebody or forcing somebody to have a relationship with you. I think as long as people are free to choose, they can have whatever kind of relationship they want. I think it's the moral thing. It may not be the best thing for them. All things are permissible, but are all things beneficial and profitable to you personally? Maybe not. You might be hurting your soul. You might be scarring your soul and making it shine like a star while you're doing something. But I don't know. There's questions beyond that you could have a big discussion about. But I'd love to hear feedback from all you about what you think about that question I posed, or those series of questions I posed. Basically getting at the same thing: is doing the right thing for the wrong reason good or bad, and what makes it So I really want to know that. So anyway, check out mjwinners.com/gu for all my Going Ultra stuff. Head over to the search bar and type in Glowbug, and you can read Ava and the Glowbug, my draft of that story. It's a children's picture book inspired by Tokusatsu, mostly Ultraman, I would say. I made it in the spirit of Ultraman, or thinking about Ultraman, what I know of it. And I'd like to do that more with other books, maybe a Rider one and a Sentai one. Maybe in the same series, in the same kind of universe. I think that could be a lot of fun. So anyway, check that out. I'd appreciate that. And of course, comment answering these questions, and just comment, say hi, and let me know if you're enjoying my coverage of this show. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to remind you that you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero. And with that, I'm going to leave you with peace and blessings. This is MJ signing out.